With Pokemon sets getting reprinted and us being deep into the Scarlet and Violet era, going into the brand new sets of Obsidian Flames and Pokemon 151, what has been going on with sealed booster boxes in the market? Because there have been some real big changes and a lot of them are dropping in prices. It is now a great time to pick up booster boxes. Jump into it. So today we'll be taking a look at TCG Player to see what the prices are over in the US, and we'll take a look at eBay to see what the prices are over here in the UK, because there have been some big movements regarding the Sword and Shield era booster boxes. So let's find out what's really been going on. First on the list we have Lost Origin, and it has been dropping due to reprints. Now, as we can see already in the past 3 months that this booster box has been dropping, I wouldn't say it's like really cheap, but it has gone down. That's the main thing. It has gone down. And as we can see, it was over basically $170, now down to $137. We go back to like the past month and you could really start to see the drop. If we go back over the last 6 months, we saw that massive spike of Lost Origin, and then it's taken a massive drop. And it's quite interesting. It is pretty interesting that it has dropped. Can I see it dropping even more? Potentially. So it's interesting to see what has really been going on. But, you know, is now a good time? I think so. Like, Lost Origin's a very strong set, so it could be one that you can consider picking up. So over here in the UK, one recently sold for $105 sealed with £5 postage, so basically $110. Let's take a look. We can find another one that's a half booster box. Got another one here for $105 plus postage, so again $110. They're about $110 to $115 for Lost Origin, you know, sealed booster boxes. You know, another one here sold for $110, £5 postage. So yeah, between $110 and $115 for a Lost Origin booster box, and it's been pretty stable over the past few months, so that's a pretty decent price. Then we have Silver Tempest, another set that's being reprinted. Look at that drop, guys. Look at that. There's now $114 on TCG Player for a box of Silver Tempest, and as we can see from the market price, it was nearly $150. So that's a good drop. That's a decent amount of money reduced there. That's what we want from these reprints. We go back to the last month, this is where the drops come in. This is where the reprints come in. We go back to the last 6 months, and we did see a steady climb of Silver Tempest, and now look here, it has just basically gone back down to what I would call a pretty decent price for some Silver Tempest. Now over here in the UK, we saw one recently sold for £100. Not too bad. Let's see if we can find any more. 105 is another one. We've got another one here for 100. So yeah, we're looking around probably about 100 to 105. You got a sealed case for 650. Can we find any more booster boxes? Another one here for 100. Another one here for 100. Yeah, we're looking around 100 to 105 for a Silver Tempest box. That's a pretty decent price for a pretty good set. Right, next up we got Brilliant Stars. Amazing set, like absolutely incredible. Booster box of this is now 141, and it has been going down, as you can see, over the past 3 months. It did reach 153 and it is now dropping. I mean, to be fair, it's not quite the lowest it's been in the last 3 months. It was 138, but it is still going down. Over the last 6 months, it has just been falling from 180, now around that 140 mark. In my opinion, I think it's like top 3 sets, you know, pretty decent in the Sword and Shield era, but it has been going down. You know, we've been seeing kind of like, not necessarily reprints, but like restocks of Brilliant Stars, which, you know, is causing the prices to drop just a little bit. There was a lot on the Pokemon Center website that you could pick up for retail for the longest time, even though when it was 180. So I feel like it's just correcting itself over time, but you can pick them up for a reasonable price. And even if you look at the latest sales, they're around like 110 to 115. So you can actually pick up some good Brilliant Stars booster boxes. Over here in the UK, we had one recently sold here for 122. That's actually dropped, actually, because it was actually higher not too long ago. There's 135, so that's a big price difference between those two booster boxes. 130 there. We got 138 plus postage, 130. So it does vary, to be fair. But let's say the average is probably around 130 to 135 for a Brilliant Stars booster box. Over here, you know, we're probably looking at one of the more expensive sets, but you know, it's holding, you know, pretty decent value, even though it has been going down slightly. Okay, next we're going to talk about Darkness Ablaze. I know it's a set that people probably don't really care that much about, as it's a pretty weak set, but we've seen weak sets in the past do really well. I'm looking at you, Rebel Clash. So Darkness Ablaze has been going up. We're looking at 152 for a box. It is going back up to where it once was 3 months ago. We go back 6 months, and it has done a massive bounce back, which is pretty decent. You know, we're looking at 155, dropped by $20, and it's now gone back up, kind of matched to where it was 6 months prior. And we go back a year. Overall, Dancer Blaze has been doing really well. It's a bit of a slow climber. It's taken its time, even though the most expensive card in the set isn't actually that expensive. If we look at the most recent sales as well, we're looking around $150 for this booster box. Okay, over here, we got looking at 145 for a box of Darkness Ablaze. 140, best offer accepted, 145. So 145, so it has gone up. It was around 130, 135. So it's starting to tick up over the past, 3 to 6 months. And I do expect it to continue. There's not much of it around, to be fair, of Darkness Ablaze. Even though it's not necessarily a great set, I think it's probably going to be one of the weakest sets moving forward in the Sword and Shield era. But it's definitely not the cheapest. I forget it's about the age of it. But it's interesting to see. Speaking of interesting, we've also then got Vivid Voltage. Now, I like Vivid Voltage, but we're looking at 135. Now, Vivid Voltage and Dancer Blaze were pretty much neck and neck in value for a long time. They were both like 130 for a long time, 135 for a long time. However, Dancer Blaze is now kind of taking the lead a little bit over Vivid Voltage. 135 for Vivid Voltage has been going down. We look over the last 6 months. It's been up and down like a yo-yo. Hasn't really settled, hasn't really climbed, hasn't really dropped. It's been up and down, really. And then we go over the past year. Overall, it is more than it was a year ago. A year ago, looking 1-2, 1-2-3, and now 1-3-5. Even though it took a little bit of a drop compared to Darkness, which has been going up a little bit higher. Vivid, Rainbow Chonkachu, what's been going on? Interesting to see. Booster boxes are not that easy to get hold of either. But Dancer Blaze is kind of taking the lead on this one. Over here, we're looking at 135. A recently sold Vivid Voltage booster box. We've got another one there for 135 plus £5 postage, so 140. 125 best offer accepted. 125 best offer accepted. So 125 again. 130. So you're probably looking around that 130 mark for Vivid Voltage. So it hasn't really changed. To be fair, it hasn't really changed at all. I remember picking up these and selling these for 130 over a year ago, so it hasn't really moved in the past 12 months of Vivid Voltage. So Darkness has taken the lead, breaking away from Vivid Voltage. Maybe Vivid Voltage might be one of the weakest sealed product booster boxes in the Sword and Shield era. We'll have to wait and see. So next up, we've got Sword and Shield Base compared to Scarlet and Violet, which is going to take some time to get to where this is going. This is doing incredibly well. Nearly $300 a booster box for Sword and Shield Base. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And over the past 3 months, we've seen it go up a little bit, over a few dollars. We go back the last 6 months, we saw a real decent climb with this, going from $260 to nearly $300 a box. But in the past year, guys, it has nearly gained $100. Like, it's gone from $226 now to nearly $300. That's insane. For the base set, it's incredible. I don't have this yet in my collection. Now, I like to have one of every booster box in the eras, and I'm trying to get all of them. Sword and Shield. I'm missing this one and Rebel Clash. They're the only two I'm missing. So trying to get hold of this is getting pricey, but let's see what's going on over in the UK because this is pretty mental. Okay, right. Sword and Shield Base $250, £10 postage. Best offer accepted. 235 plus postage, so 240. Well, that one's really expensive from Australia. So is that one. 155. That's a better price. That's a lot better price. That's something I would probably pay for. That's quite a difference there. Then we've got a couple of half booster boxes. We've got 146, 140. You can pick up for a decent price. You just kind of have to look and find a good one. 130 there. So there are some which are selling for incredible amounts, and there are some that are selling for what I would say is a pretty reasonable amount. So the price can vary really of Sword and Shield Base. It's not necessarily the best set, but it is definitely increasing in value. Alright, Rebel Clash, Rebel Trash. Look at the price of this booster box. $215 for what is the worst set in the entire Sword and Shield era. I think Dancer Blaze is kind of getting there as well, to be honest. But we're looking at $215. We go back 6 months, and it's always been above that $200 mark, which is crazy. We go back a year, and it was like 175, around that 175 mark. It did go above. It did go like 220 nearly, and it's been pretty stable above 200 since, and that's in the past year. So it's been pretty stable over the past few months, as we've seen in the past 6 months. It's been pretty stable, but over for what 2022, it did really well. Interesting, booster packs, single booster packs this set are really cheap, like super cheap. You're probably looking like probably under $3 in some places. The Rebel Clash is really cheap to open. Not really a great set to open, but sealed booster boxes are doing really well. Like, to be fair, And I will expect it to climb. That's the crazy thing with this set. Now over here, 165. We saw one recently sold. 235. Well, that's a bit of a jump. Let's see what else we got. 160 for a Rebel Clash booster box. 200. Again, similar to Sword and Shield base. Really, different prices. It's quite interesting. 210. Again, even more expensive now. So there are some that you can definitely pick up that are pretty pricey. 155. 150. This is what I'm talking about. So it's interesting to see the prices between these two sets, Sword and Shield base and Rebel Clash. They're old, but they're getting pretty pricey. Okay, let's take a look at Battle Styles now. Now I like Battle Styles. Do have a master set of it. It's the only master I've got actually from the Sword and Shield era. $111. So it's gone down a little bit, but overall it's gone up from where it has been. We go back 6 months and we can see that Battle Styles reached a high of 115, but it is slowly going up. We go over the past year and it really has gone up. From as low as 85, bargain by the way, if you bought it at 85, to get it now at 111, it has been climbing. It is the cheapest booster box in the Sword and Shield era. Do I expect it to go up even more? Yeah, I do. I expect it to climb. It's not that easy to get hold of. Again, like Rebel Clash, booster packs are super expensive. It's a tough set to get the pulls on. But to keep it sealed in a booster box, it does doing well. Okay, Battle Styles. So 120 recently sold, best offer accepted. 95, so plus postage, looking at 100. 110, best offer accepted with the postage. 80, wow, that's a really good deal for a booster box there. 95, 80, best offer accepted. 110, 105. So there's a lot of variety. I would say on average 100. I would say probably 100 to 105 would probably be the average for a Battle Styles booster box. It has gone up. I remember picking these up for around 90 a while ago now, about a year ago, but it has actually gone up ever so slightly over the past 12 months. All right, Chilling Reign, Chilling Pain, we're looking at 141 for a booster box. Now it has gone down ever so slightly over the past few months, only by a few dollars, nothing too crazy. Overall, the last 6 months, stable. Been pretty stable, hasn't really done much, to be fair. It's getting hard to get hold of sealed Chilling Reign booster boxes. We go back a year, has gone up. Overall, it was that kind of big spike in the end of 2022. That's where it all climbed, and people started to realize, wait a minute, Chilling Reign's a good set. So it was around $90, and kind of with 90 to 100 and 40 or nearly 150. Pretty good going overall, but like I say, last 6 months kind of stayed the same. So here we're looking at 130 for a booster box. A best offer accepted, we don't really know. 130, not too bad. 100 best offer accepted. 150, wow, that's quite pricey. 105, again, weird prices. 100, okay, 100, 100, 135, 100, 100. So it's all basically looks like from the same seller. So I would say probably about 100 to maybe 120. That kind of price range. It really does depend. I mean, I picked mine up probably about maybe in the year, maybe 4 months ago, for around 120. So it has gone up a little bit, I would say, but probably around 120 is probably the average for a Chilling Reign booster box. Okay, then we're on to Astral Radiance now. We're looking at 119. This set kind of hasn't really done much, to be fair. It's not necessarily one of the biggest sets that people want to buy and collect, but it's holding value. 120, a lot of people said, oh, should it get reprinted? Probably not, but we'll see how it goes. Last 6 months, it did go up a little bit, and now it's kind of going back down. We go back the past year, overall it has gone up by about 20 or so percent, but it did reach a high of nearly 130. It started to come back down. 105 recently sold here. That's not too bad actually for the Astral Radiance booster box. Let's see if we can find any others. We've got a few half booster boxes here and there. 105, 110, 108. So yeah, probably around 105, 110. It sounds about right for Astral Radiance. I picked one up, I think it was, I don't know, 108, something like that. So yeah, I would say it's a pretty reasonable price point for an Astral Radiance booster box. Not the best set, not the worst set, pretty average. Okay, then we're on to Fusion Strike, the best set. Okay, we can all agree, yeah. The best set, Fusion Strike. Similar to Chilling Reign. Haven't really done much. Been pretty stable over the past 3 months. Just kind of plodding along, really. Over the past 6 months, it has climbed, pretty decent amount, $10 to $15 or so. Over the past year, again, it was that end of 2022, had the spike. So a lot of these booster boxes are kind of plateauing. They really are plateauing. Some of them are dropping actually as well. Some of the more recent ones have been dropping, but not really. None have really climbed a massive amount. I would probably say Dancer Blade's done pretty well, but the rest of them have been pretty stable. All right, Fusion Strike over here, 102. That's a pretty decent price. Let's see if we can find any more for some booster boxes. 118, 126 plus postage, so basically 130. 112, you know, you got postage, so maybe close to 120. 118, 2 booster boxes for 225, so we're looking at about 112. So yeah, you're looking at a pretty decent price there. So overall, I think that, you know, Fusion Strike probably looking around 120, let's say on average a box. I bought mine same time as I bought the Children Rain one at 120, so you can pick these up for a pretty decent price. Like I say, they haven't really moved much. I think that was a really good time. And finally, we have Evolving Cries, Evolving Skies, under $400. Has actually dropped, which is not what I expected. I thought it would keep going, but it's had a little bit of a drop. It did reach 405, and like I say, now it's probably dropped around about $15 over the past 3 months. You go back 6 months, and it's just climbing. To be fair, not like crazy amount. Well, it is kind of crazy to be fair if you think about it, because it was around 320, and we're looking at nearly 400. That's a pretty good gain in 6 months. But again, it was at the end of 2022. The hype was real, and it has just been going. Now, a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, Jace, do you reckon it's going to crash?" I'm waiting for it to crash. Unless there's a reprint, which I find it extremely hard to believe, this set ain't going anywhere. It's going to keep going up, and yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what's going to be going on with Evolving Skies, because it is unusual compared to all the other sets, but we'll have to wait and see what really is going to be going on in the future. Or any sets kind of catch up. I kind of feel like Lost Origin and Brilliant Stars have a good shot, but apart from that, it's just going to keep going up. Okay, over here we got one that recently sold, best offer accepted for $360. Now we do get a lot of half booster boxes that sell over here, but we're looking at specifically the normal 36 pack booster box. We have one here for $360. Another one here with a case for $390. We have one here just on its own, best offer accepted $345. Another one here for $375. I would say you're probably looking at around $380. Between $350 and $380 for a Evolving Skies booster box. And of course we have like the half ones, like one here sold for basically $150. That's the cheapest option. If you want to get the Evolving Skies packs, or kind of like a half booster box, get the half booster boxes. Don't worry about the normal booster boxes. To be honest, I wouldn't even bother paying that type of money to open the set. Just don't do it. You're better off just buying the cards. Or if you just happen to get Evolving Skies packs in something like a Charizard UPC, probably better. Apart from that, yeah, I would say on average between $350 and $380. There you go, guys. That's what's been going on with the Sword and Shield era. Pretty impressive. Some things have been going up, but most things have been going down. That's what is the most interesting thing. The only thing really has been going up is Dancer Blaze, which is kind of weird, but everything else has kind of either stayed the same or dropped. We've had reprints of the Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars. So there's a few sets going here and there that are dropping. It's interesting to see what's going to be happening moving forward. The longer and further away we get, into Scarlet and Violet, and over time and stuff like that. So I do feel like Sword and Shield will, a lot of these sets will go up and will appreciate in value. But right now, with reprints, and to be fair, the Pokemon Company could reprint anything. We just don't know. But overall, a lot of the sets have been pretty stable. Big climbers is Rebel Clash, Sword and Shield base, Dancer Blaze, and that's basically it. The ones that have been falling, well, the ones have been reprinted, restocked, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, and of course Brilliant Stars, with a little drop of Evolving Skies. Speaking of this year, if you want to know what the most expensive cards are that have been released this year, then make sure to click on this video right here. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that's it from me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.